Jill Scott and Regina King said something about ding, ding, ding. Yeah, dating. Should women date outside their race? I think I don't see anything wrong with it personally. I don't.
All right, Dietra.
I don't. I mean, I love my black man. I really do. I think we have the same rhythm, the same DNA. We come from the same place. We know each other.
I think I think one of the reasons black women have been so resistant to do it is because we come from a history of responsibility, where we had to be responsible for the families, we had to be responsible for the survival of the race, we had to, slavery pulled us apart as a people, and the mothers had to assume a lot more responsibilities, let's say, than in other races. So our dilemma is we always want to stand by our man and be there for him, and I'm all for that, and I love black men. Let me just say that. I love black men, don't get me wrong. But it comes to a point where it's not so much about, with you personally, it's not just racial preservation, but it's self-preservation. And it's how to and it's all fine and dandy saying, I'm gonna stay with my brother and search for my brother when you're 30. But when you get 40, it's a different story. then you start like rethinking that situation and going, I don't know about 40. That. So, at some point we have to decide what is it, because who am I to tell my sister who doesn't have any children? I'm married with children. Who am I to tell you, Erika, well, no, you can't go out and
who I
date
can
a
love,
guy,
and who I can let love me back.
Who you can't be with.
I love that. Well, I'm
who
single.
You can't be with.
Am I the only one on the panel that's not married or single? That's single.
I'm not married yet.
And I don't have any children. And you said when you're 40 and 30. Well, I'm in the middle. I'm 35. Well, actually, I'm 36 on Wednesday.
Happy birthday.
There we go. That's what I was waiting for.
When you're under 40, you don't mind telling your age.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind at all. I try my best to take care of myself.
I guess
but
when you're 50,
but beyond that, the reality in this country is that, according to the 2005 census data, 75% of African American women were currently single. So it's 2010 now. They just did the census again. So I'm convinced that number will be closer to 80% right now. And there aren't enough available, viable black men, just statistically, for all of the single available black women that would love to be in supportive, nurturing relationships. And unless you're going to start what I call a phenomenon that exists on a lot of college campuses when I go around and speak, unless you're going to participate in man sharing, then you have to start looking out of your comfort zoned dating pool. You have to. And the reality is, if you don't want to be alone, then you got to warm up to that Asian, Latin, white, hottie that's been eyeing you since day one, because quiet as kept, dare I say, are the hottest.
I do want to say this. When I'm going to tell you all this, and I'm going to confess, I may get some phone calls about this, but when I first got here to New York City, I was in a play at New York Ports Cafe, and I went out with a white guy. They say that black women don't like to see their men with white women. I'm gonna tell you something. White women don't like to see their men with white men. Yeah, I mean, I felt like some of these white women wanted to jump kick my ass back to Harlem. I really did.
I've had the opposite experience because I date men. I don't really care what race or ethnicity you are. If we connect and we click and you're a good guy, I'm good with that. But when I date white guys, when we're out, I don't have an issue with the white women. It's the black men. And they look at me like, how dare you?
Like sell out.
Like what? Like, you know you need to be with me. And sometimes they'll even go so far as to say something, but not something like derogatory, but to flirt in front of the guy.
No,
to throw some rhythm my way. And it's like, how rude. You wouldn't do that if I was with a brother.
Then again, but I mean, I remember. I remember in college, I went to a historically black college university now, and I actually dated a white guy. And the ridicule I got on the campus was like, oh my gosh, like egads, like what are you doing? And
she said egads.
I mean, it really got really thick. And what happened was, I remember going to the mall and the comments that were said, like, you know, like, I hope your parents are proud of you, or you know, are you enjoying what you're doing? And the more comical of it was, I was with him and his best friend was with a white girl, and they were looking like, wait a minute, like, did you two switch? Like, what happened with that? So I think that if someone makes you happy, whether they're black, white, gray, purple, or orange, whatever, if they make you happy and they respect you as a person, I think that should be the fundamental purpose of you dating that person. You could date within your race, and if they treat you like trash, then what do you do? But if you find someone that can give you that happiness, and they give you that respect, and they support you when you're up and down, that should be the factor.
But I tell you, it's real. It's real. I have so many girlfriends that are single. I mean, beautiful, beautiful black women. I mean, gorgeous. Got everything going for them. I mean, they have great jobs. They have, they have no children, and they're just searching. And they're searching, and they're holding out for brothers. And I understand that. I love black men, but I actually had one ask me. She kind of asked me for permission, to date a white guy. She said, Shawn, would you consider dating a white guy? And I said, are you thinking about it? I said, girl, do whatever makes you happy. Right. At this point, you have to celebrate your life and what gives you fulfillment. And if that's with a white man or an Asian man or a Spanish man, that doesn't make you any less black. Yeah. And you know what? But you know what? Some people say that, well, you're taking it out of the race and, you're not having black children and so on and so forth. Let me tell you something. A half black baby is a black baby. Okay. It's a black baby.
We're going to take a call from somebody this person's been holding for a while. Okay, caller, what's your name and what's your question? Okay, I think we lost the caller.
Oh, Terrence.
Terrence, if you're still there, please call back. I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulty.
We want to hear from you, Terrence.
Yes.
Now I'm intrigued. A male perspective. What?
Yeah.
In Harlem.
You know what I have a question about?
What?
When you say interracial dating, because we happened to talk about this at a show I did not that long ago, we have to also understand it doesn't mean black, white.
Right.
It can mean even as deep as culture. If you go to Spanish Harlem and you're Dominican and you're dating Puerto Rican, that's considered interracial, because if you mistake someone who's from Dominican descent as Puerto Rican, you can get hurt, So it's a situation where you may look the same, and it doesn't mean that you're in the same race.
I agree. Totally.
Okay, Terrence is back.
Black, white.
Terrence is back. Sorry about that, Terrence. Terrence.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, huh?
Right.
Hey, Terrence.
Stay on this time. All right. Yeah, I heard you all talking about interracial dating, and you said that that brothers get upset when they see you with the white male.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I can understand why, because if you look at the history of this country, it's really not on equal standing as far as black men dating white women and black women dating white men, because historically, white men were raping black women. So black women, it wasn't a matter of choice with them. So it's like today when black men see black women with white men, it's like a double insult.
Okay, so what is your question, though?
Well, it's not so much a question. It's really more of an observation about that. And also I heard one of the sisters talking about how hard it is for black women to find so-called eligible black men to marry. At the same time, it's like I question the types of men that black women are choosing. Because it seems, just my daily observances, basically, I see a lot of black women going for like the worst types of black men that they can find. It's like black women. And I'm not trying to like come down hard on you guys. I'm just trying to, give you my opinion. But it seems like a lot of black women have reduced black men to just this whole thing about swagger. Okay.
What he said about about the women scraping the bottle.
Now, I didn't hear that.
Speaking for my girlfriends, that's not true.
Wait a minute.
My girlfriends, I mean, in terms of, well, he has to be X, Y, and Z.
Say it.
As you get older, all those little things, a little check-off list, you just start saying, okay, you don't need to be
like you got to have a cute booty. Nice booty.
Am I keeping it?
And I didn't
no, we like you too, baby. We like you too. Cutie pie.
Lovely ladies of the universe. I love you all.
I love you too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Smooches.
I did have a comment about the other.